might cause the live stream. Okay, it worked fine. Good. We are getting set up here real fast. Yes, we should. Oh, you're actually playing my audio. To do that. I wish the stream view on the the stream manager has just like a loading screen on my tablet. That's kind of weird. Like it can't connect to chat. Anyways. All right. I am kind of squished on the top. I need to move the cam down a little bit. If I can get there. I can honestly zoom out a bit on my webcam. Think I can do that? There. So now you can see me a little bit better. This is the mic. Okay. So next, we're going to go ahead and, ooh, I like that that closes the manager altogether. I really don't like the new stream manager. I feel like it's just glitchy and dumb. I miss the old one. I'm going to have to get a new solution for that. But regardless, we are now going to continue working on where we left off yesterday, which is with the Snowball project spin up. We got quite a few of the pieces working at this point. And according to Creatine or whatever his name is, a lot of these do work. So I think before I really get going, I want to take the server. Okay, are you doing? All right. And one of the complaints I have with the server is there are still a lot of projects that are using the Ryzom prefix. I don't know though if that's... I think that's just deprecated. Like AI service is its own subdirectory at this point. I think the bin file, all these Ryzom files are just old. Meaning if I run the build again, the heck? There. So what this should do is when it generates all these binaries, oh, it has to compile from scratch. It should put them in their respective paths a little bit better. I'm also still getting a bug with null report. You see how many of these files there are? That's annoying. I just deleted them real quick. All right, so we're gonna let that compile. And while that does, arguably any of the folders that we have that call for Ryzom can be ignored. Which actually, I think I already did do that. So that's good. Hey, Xiao Xiao. Hope you're doing well. All right, so here is the naming service. We're going to just toss this over here. the time being. I don't know what we should use for this. We'll use the fire. Okay, and we're going to go to the snowball documentation, because this helps me get a better idea of like each of the pieces of this. Can I not? There we go. With the stream with audio only, can I actually see? Stream stats? Sorry. Wait, I turned off audio only. That's so annoying. I can't see the stream stats when it's audio only. They really need to fix this crap. It's so badly made. Oh, there is a widget thing, but all it does is let you remove dock widgets. I don't know. It's dumb. So, regardless, we're going to keep working on this. What we'll start doing is we got naming service. We still got to get login service working. Does login service even exist anymore? We have logger. It's part of NetLS or NelNS. Okay. So what we may need to do is open up the quick start and verify how is login being handled on the quick start with Patchman. Okay, I think this will iterate all the launch stops. Look at this hacky starter script. So it's just iterating the directory with Ryzom prefix folders. Okay. There's so many scripts in this project. It's insane. So if we search for naming service, here's the redistributable for the different distros. It's in Redist. There is no login. Is this also with... Man, look at all the binaries. Insane, how crazy. the number of packages and binaries there are on this build. And so much of it we don't even care about. So I got to figure out who is auth. Like, how do we get authorization up? Because there's no longer a login service. It was old in NEL NLS, but I don't think... let's do search for like password in server and see what services have a password field. So backup does, the monitor service, obviously for the database, chat unifier, game share, has commented out code about passwords. Login server. Here's a login system. Multi-shards client. And then in server share, there's a wrapper for MySQL. So really, even like the password system is not super cohesive. What about in the actual client? Because we actually get client source code. Like we can see here, login main. On the CMake file, you have a portal to do creating and, forgetting passwords and the patch URL. I don't think any of these sites work. Here, this works. Okay. Regardless, I guess what we can do, I think I need to build the client for Windows as well. Because I don't think Snowball is in the quick start as a built binary, is it? No. I could write a batch script that would compile this. It may conflict a bit with my build bin. But what I could do is oh, this is on a remote machine. I can't build Windows binaries very cleanly. What I could do though is on my local machine, git clone the Snowball repo to my C drive source RH directory, which has shared. Oh, actually, it already has client, but I don't think I've ever done Snowball. Okay. And notice there's no build directory, so I can even just in here do a config.bat. What the? Why do you keep changing that? To configure make lists in same path and set output to build subdir. So this should auto find Win32. No, it's using TDM. Force Visual Studio 2022 as the compiler, overriding TDM GCC 64. Yeah, so you can see here, this is honestly something I should be doing for all of them. One question I have, is there a equivalent to makefile for Windows instead of using bat files? I don't want, these are, I could do the PowerShell script system. Basically what I'll do is make a batch file that if you execute it in a PowerShell window, it'll give you all the interactive commands as if you're in Linux. So Windows and Linux setup is going to have the same tutorial then. That should be clean. And even if you're not a Linux user, you can then just go into this repository, install Visual Studio. And we're going to make this like, what? Why am I open? GIMP. I didn't click on anything. Because of this? Anyways. I think it's PS1. So what you do is you enter the dev shell. Why is this failing? What did I mess up? Wow. see if ChatGPT will generate this for me. I've done something similar for one of my old jobs. But if I can write like a simple script that I can hack and make like command line stuff, it'll just help. Especially if I detect if you have CMake and stuff. Let's see what he thinks. I mean, this is 100% just AI slop. We'll see if it ever gets to a point. Because at the end of the day, this is just going to be running my CMake command. Honestly, I should just go back to... I just hate having a bunch of batch files in here just to run. Hey, Matthias. I hope you're doing well. It's saying I still have an unquoted thing. DevShell. All right, so when you run config, look at that. It already detects if you have Visual Studio or not. But this is okay. Okay, so that's going to build a config cache using Visual Studio. No, it fucked up. You need to pass this argument into the CMake command. What? I think one of these arguments has too many brackets. I'll mess with this later. I get enough of what I need with the config bat for now. Ryzom, I played this in like 200 years ago. Yeah, so Valiath, my plan is, first of all, I'm just tweaking the architecture, cleaning up the build pipelines, trying to make it simpler and more streamlined. But once I get everything cleaned up, I'm going to heavily fork Ryzom and start making a new MMO, essentially, with the Ryzom Foundation. because we get full open source to the client and server, I figured it's easier to edit than to start from scratch. So exactly. Basically an engine. The game's so empty, but has a nice shell. Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't have an instancing system. It doesn't have a way to even like, I think it has zones. It's a little hard to tell because of the sharding system. I don't know if that means it's an infinite world or what, but that's on my list, is to, you know, essentially I'll hack it up and add instancing if there's not already, and just a ton of other improvements like movement controls need a heavy TLC, probably the UI, totally revamp. It'll be a new game is my goal. I'll hit it with little pieces at a time. And I imagine once I get a foundation done and other people get aware of it and see my progress, potentially they'll come in and do contributions. You know, like if you could pull down the source and fix so that jumping worked or something, a lot of people would potentially, you know, contribute to that. Extreme Cases. Hi again. Welcome back. Hope you've been doing well, and let's figure out why we're getting a weird error about add test executable. So in the CMake file, on line 296, this is part of the testing. We should honestly disable with nil tests altogether. We're looking for Lua bind. I found this, by the way, by looking for an open source MMO, basically. That was my foundational inquiry. Okay, so Lua bind. This is the... How am I going to do this? I would probably prefer adding a VC package management tool for Windows. Who is a good example of VC package? I feel like Zone Utilities, I think, has a decent one. He does a submodule style, though. I don't think I want to get into submodules. I haven't looked at plane shift. Is it all open source? If it's using Unreal, I assume it isn't. I need that AGPL3. If it's not... Let's go watch a video about plane shift real quick and see what it looks like. Plane shift.
Hi, this is Cigetti, and in this video I'm going to show you something special. They're completely free, and I've seen this myself.
Slim physiques.
I'm not, and yeah, this is another. It's a Kram. This is Hitler is the main city. The sky is a bit special, and the reason for that, we are actually not outside. The entire world is in a huge cave, so that's a part of the story actually. Yeah, so here's my son. He's currently also trying to play. So this is
one thing I've immediately noticed is their animation tweening is so much better. Even though, yeah,
see, the animation is sometimes a bit buggy.
And yet it's more buggy. Yeah, there's so many issues with fundamental things.
The arena. That's a place where you can battle, I think. Yeah,
oh, look at the frame rate on that. Oof.
Or temple that you can train with.
I mean, there are things about it that feel closer.
So I'm now going to leave the town through another gate. And now I'm outside.
I just don't think the source code is as much exposed. Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. As you see, I'm definitely curious. Even Ryzom at this point, I'm still just learning about it and figuring out the viability of it. I think Brainiac has a better VC package setup. Specifically, I think in MacroQuest. Is this the old one? I don't think he has. Yeah, they cleaned this up heavily. But see, they're using submodules, which I can avoid though. The key thing is where is their CMake system? Or did they use something else? I thought they used CMake. I don't think they do. So I could do something similar. Because we're going to have liblua. What is Ikimu using? I've honestly not built on Windows for so long. That is their little definition file. That's not anything related. You know, they have flags for MSVC and they have different arguments, but I think they're just, I don't think they use VC package. They're just doing it raw dog. The zone utilities might be the best. Let's ask the Jupiter real quick. With Visual Studio 2022, if I have a Lua third-party tenancy, is VC package still the recommended route, or are there more modern solutions for third-party? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll move to VC package, and I can likely use zone utilities. I think KLS updated this relatively recently. So I think it's still pretty good. I don't know though if these changes are going to negatively impact. we're going to need to get the DirectX SDK, and we're going to get Lua bind. Yeah, Conan is one of the build pipelines that's out there. And we'll make a VC package JSON file. Obviously, we don't need these dependencies. I'm just tossing them in here for now. So add, what is it? Lua bind. And I think all of these we can remove. We need DirectX as well. Think you can do that? And I don't think we need the features. I like how CMake is crying. But whatever. Okay. So when I run it again, it's probably not going to work. Because I need to find where the Lua or the VC package actually gets ran. Let's ask ChatGPT. Because I haven't done CMake from scratch in a while, so let me see if I can have AI help me get it. So we set the toolchain kind of file. When you configure your project for CMake, the VCPack toolchain is set to read your manifest, install any missing dependencies. Did I even get that message, by the way? Yeah, it says it's using the submodule, but the CMake doesn't have the submodule. Is that because of no scripts? I don't have the submodule. Is there an elegant way to add VC package detection without using the submodule method? You only use, can you fail config if VC package isn't found? Is there a CMake module to find VC package? root and set it. Right, but that's literally just this code in a CMake module. Can I just fixed path place the VC package? And instruct users to the website and location, or even have a wget equivalent call. Pretty sure I can. I just don't like external dependencies. So what you can do is we'll have some sort of intermediary path, which I don't think we really have currently. Could be in temp. We could be like, you know, toolchain. So let's see if this will work. So CMake source directory, VC package scripts, build system cmake.cmake. Let's see if that does it. But see, this is the source code. There's no built binaries, is there? Does VC package have pre-built binaries or only source code? And I guess I should just use git modules. So I'm basically falling into the trap of what he had to do. That's fine. I'll make a submodule subfolder. If you're using Windows, you get to suffer. What's the command again? It's like git submodule pull blah blah blah. Okay, so what this will do is now when you run it, you get an error. VC package not run. Run this or set the root. And that should have, it didn't clone it. The submodule wasn't truly linked. I made a git modules. Can you help me make a submodules entry in VC package? It's like git submodule add, yeah. Anyways, if you use Windows, this will be a requirement, but it's the evil to make dependency management easier. We're also going to need to git ignore VC package, and I think we also want to git ignore submodules. Don't I? No, submodules would automatically be ignored. Does VC package need to be? Maybe not. Okay, so now when we run config, we now are detecting VC package. Notice it's snowball VC package. How did it? From project directory. Wouldn't that be actually in VC package? Okay. Now that we got it, manifest features. How does this part work? I think now if I want to get VC package to pull down Luabine, do I do something like I thought that's what I do. Okay. After we do this, we don't want hunger. We're not going to bother with that for now. But see, GFLW only instanced here. Let's see what it thinks about this. This error means the VC package did not install Luabine nor find a CMake config file. Here's how to resolve it. Make sure your VC package contains... I don't know what zoo is. I also don't know why it's called the Ryzom Core. I don't think that part matters though. This might matter. Or if you use manifest mode, just configure CMake and VC will try to. How do I enable manifest mode? Because I really don't want to run the third party. but I want to just submodule grab like the CMake shows and have the CMake build VC package automatically without me having to instruct the user to do bootstrap. Is that possible? I'm pretty sure that it is. I don't know why I'm missing this. Was this actually ever ran on here? Did his README say that you have to do that? No, he just didn't describe any of this. Can you move it to a CMake module? Getting so convoluted, I don't want it to be inlined, and then I can always flag it. I don't know why you keep doing these huge line pound comments. Probably was inspired by this. Okay. Let's run it again. Okay, so what did this do? We've now downloaded the release executable, and we validated the signature, and we've got it installed. Okay. Another question is MSVC a reserved word for Visual Studio builds? Yeah. This means that Snowball in my build environment should still work fine and skip the VC package. I mean, we have some weird call stack errors, but this is just those warnings from earlier. Anyways, okay, so we're getting closer. The key element now is okay, I've set up VC package and it gets the executable, but now I need it to run the VC package JSON loading. So I get DirectX SDK and Luabind installed. What am I missing? Right now, I get this error. Okay. So we're getting an error now on line 65. Did I mess up my checks? Could not find the requested file on line 65. This could be because shared isn't cloned anyway. Wait, it's not actually calling that line. I might need to run it clean. See how fast it's erroring? It's not even initializing. It's like line 71. It's just straight up failing. By the way, am I out of date? No, it's here. I think it's this nel requirement on line 73. Why is it now unable to include it? Are these just not actually being called anymore? Yeah, I don't think I need those because of how I'm reconfiguring things. But and it'll set up default options. I don't even know how this is getting called. It's probably because of the nel thing. And honestly, this all could likely turn into comments. NL configure checks is part of CMake line 212. And nel config pretty sure all of these are not even used. And look at all this junk. Find package helper. So much code, libcurl, qt system. I'm going to need find qt though. I need find nel. By not providing find nel, this process asks CMake to find a package file by nel, but did not make one. Man, Windows is gonna be an asshole. I don't know if I can cross build very cleanly. one thing I should double check is on client, or actually in Ryzom Core, there is an Azure pipeline. How does the pipeline build the client here? So it's running it in Ubuntu, and yeah, it has a matrix. So it's running a virtual machine with Windows 2019 on it. And it has a pre-made DirectX SDK directory. And it looks like it's just cloning this. Or not cloning, it's literally just downloading it. Ugh. So hacky. Okay. I'm debating on like, should I continue down this path of just like cleaning it up heavily? It probably makes sense. But even the Ryzom Core repo, I don't think I can run CMake. I guess I could try that though. Because Ryzom Core is more or less vanilla. Let's see how this does. Unable to find Lua bind. Yeah, we're in the exact same problem. But if we use the pipeline, how does Lua bind get solved with the client here? Is Lua bind even an option on here? You know, Lua bind might even be a dependency. It's because of with Nell. But they're using that Hunter stuff. We could just use Hunter. That looks like what is managing. Is Hunter like installed already or something? Ugh. Even the quick integration is a little wonky because they're running Ubuntu 22 here, but they're still using the Microsoft prod thing. This doesn't work anymore because, yeah. Okay, so let me think about this. How do I want to run a client? Obviously, the Win32 build is going to be the easiest potentially. But because of dependencies, I could just copy paste them temporarily and just hard code the paths and just not bother with the VC package setup. But I am pretty far along already. So let's take out the hunter flag. Another thing is when we're running it, we don't need snowball servers. I don't think that's going to hurt. We need the nell and depends and stuff. We also need to... Is this just not working? The shared path check here? Like maybe the... Yeah, this is like a pre-compiler error for some reason. Did I do something aggressive that messed this up? I think this list can be added there. Okay. Could not find DirectX. That's a critical error. Oh, using DirectX from Windows SDK. It's not bad. Found JPEG, but we could not find Luabind still. This is creating a CMake prefix path for the current source directory external. Expected new line. Got an identifier with text list. What do you mean? Line 9? Oh. So in other words, Luabind is not available. So Lua bind was removed. What it's basically saying. I'm going to probably hard code the Lua bind dependency. Or I can add in Hunter again, which I think I just took out that code, but it wouldn't be hard to re-add. And literally just revert this change. A lot of headaches. With this workspace environment, how can I elegantly add Hunter? We can go ahead and remove the submodules. Okay. Now if I run config, the Hunter is now initializing. What happened there? How does Hunter even install? I gotta make sure it doesn't do something stupid. It's doing something fucking stupid. I hate, like, why are you installing to my C drive? Oh my gosh. Because of this. Sorry. Huge pet peeve. Stop using weird ass paths when you're setting up environments for third-party tooling. The Hunter Gate root is going to actually be the CMakes root path. And then we can just make like a scripts subfolder or even a dependencies subfolder and it could ignore it. All right, so where's this Hunter shit? If it's not found, then set it to dependencies Hunter. That's fine. That's fine too. But only No, these things are fucking still doing it. Freaking hate root directory bullshit. There. Okay. Build project failed. I didn't put it. Dependencies, hunter, base, download, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. So HunterGate is now failing. This is the worst report message ever. But failed to download? Down result equals download result equals 0. Fail. During the hunter download in the gate. Is it because of the path cleanup? So it downloads this tarball, it extracts it, it tries to build the project, and it's failing on the download. But we know that it works fine if it's in the weird directory. No, it still fails with the other directory. Okay. So there's just another bug. I don't know. I don't know if I want to fix this or... I think Creelan said he had a quick start done. I should check with... you know, if he ever got it set up to actually work for the Snowballs client. Trying to think otherwise. I have a laptop that I could run the Snowballs client on. But yeah, this is kind of a pain in the ass. What I could also do is spin up a VirtualBox running like Windows 10 or even 11, and then have the entire thing run on that. Because, yeah, I have 10 Business Edition right here. We're going to need more memory, more processors. Why does it skip so many? Oh. We're probably going to need more than that. According to this, extracted, I think it's like 50 gigs. So we're going to need at least 100. I just need this because I can sidestep the snowball client. And honestly, I'll probably... I wonder if I can cross-pile a Linux machine to build the Windows instances later. How hard is it to cross-pile a DirectX game from Linux, make a Win32 app? I don't think the MinGW stuff... Yeah, I don't even know what version of DirectX Ryzom uses. I see DirectX 9. Yeah. Okay. So what we may want to try is in my dev container for Snowball. I'm going to have like a Win32. Yeah, I don't think I have MinGW installed right now. Does 64 include x86? Looks like it does. One concern. Did we change the target for the preset? What does that make? Let's cancel this. This version of CMake also isn't showing me more info of like what target I have and stuff. Usually CMake is a little bit more informative in VS Code. Wonder if it's because I'm missing this. Better yet, that's where I should be. Let's uninstall that. We don't need this. Gonna let me uninstall it? There. Okay, so we have a bunch of lists here. Configure. Windows client only. Okay, so now we're getting errors. And I think that actually properly, we can remove this build. Okay. So let's go down this route. Let's see how hard this is. So we can see here the toolchain is using mingw now as the toolchain file, which is perfect. We are failing on... Oh, this file doesn't even exist. Why do we have a source CMake file? And this is saying on line 78 that it can't even do project. My preset might be wrong. Generator Ninja, build Win32. I should be making a new path for it. Oh, I see. The toolchain file hasn't been made. Why would I need a toolchain file? Can't I just send a flag to basically say, you know, use mingw for compiling? Okay, so now zlib is failing. All right, so now we have a machine. Let's get the guest editions installed on it. Okay, and then while that's going, why is zlib failing now? Okay, so you already rebooted. Can I drag drop to you? What I'll probably just do is C drive, source, not share, source Ryzom, quick start, zip file. Can't copy. Probably because drag and drop, host to guest. Honestly, bidirectionals. And we're just going to toss it on the C drive. There. Okay. So means that it couldn't find a mingw compiled zlib library in your cross-compile environment. CMake finds the zlib, so with mingw, it needs the libza. Wait. Okay, so tools is now installed. How does CMake look? Find libxml. Are you doing an Ubuntu bug again? Yeah, you know, the thing I've been always using. Maybe you should default to that. Still wasn't found though. Keep guessing. But why are you stopping after extraction? Temp schema not found. Oh. Come on. Copy. Jesus. Copy. Paste. Temp scheme missing. Oh, it's because no. What time is it? 15. I don't know why I'm still getting into these schema miss. Enough context. I feel like the wget is not properly extracting. Yeah, aka you gave me the wrong command for that. Appreciate it. Still breaking. Oh. Isn't it wget and then the O flag is with the output directory? Okay, so we are now, there's no configure. Compiling from source, always fun. And all this for a path that may or may not be used, but honestly, the work I'm doing right now will be used as well for the client. And being able to spin up a dev container, compile all of your code base without ever having to be in Windows directly could be nice. Especially for like CI/CD, but also even just for build environment. The only downside to this is like if you want to attach a debugger to the client, which you probably will want. This is a lot of work. Okay, so those are fine. Okay, we're done. What happens when I hit configure now? So now we have the DirectX SDK error and we have a PNG error. Should have done that in the CMake list. I'm running Ubuntu 24.04. Not found. Can you please not do it after like third, fourth time? Not called this, it's called that. Okay. I gotta fucking build it from scratch again. Hopefully this time it's using my script a little bit better. Because I got a pattern that actually is decent. Okay. What's the next error? Oh no. OpenSSL. With MinGW. That's going to be fun. Well, we'll see if these commands work first try or not. I'm getting so many like sub dependencies that I'll probably have to make a Docker image that I push up that just speeds it up so other people can get the dev environment quickly and easily. Because whenever I start having to build source code changes like this, it just makes the whole experience that much more shitty. You'd be sitting here waiting on this dev container Docker image to compile all these files for you. And I can skip it all with a pre-built, I'm pretty sure. It might increase the size of the download, but download speed's usually faster than compiling. Especially OpenSSL. I don't know if this is the correct version of OpenSSL. I don't know if it even requires a specific version or not. I guess the Azure pipeline would have given me a hint. I don't think he installs. He has Linux default with music or with MS Quick enabled and suppressing regeneration. And yeah, no. We're going to probably need all these dependencies too, potentially. We'll see. Anyways, while that's compiling, let's get into here. You don't have 7-zip. Jesus, can you just let me use a browser? Okay. This will take a bit. There's a lot of loose files in this 7-zip file. It's funny because they've zipped all the Git files. Anyways, so while that extracts, we did get OpenSSL to run make. Let's see what, I might need a sudo command for this. Yeah. Okay. So this Docker container now has OpenSSL installed, so we can run a configure again. What is our next error? Slowly but surely, tracking it down, getting each item one by one. I really don't like how right click is copy. Wait. What happened here? Clones. I don't want it to clone, by the way. I'd rather it just download a copy. There is no CMake lists. Okay. Oh no. Boost? I don't want boost. Holy shit. Got enough commands on that file? Ah, come on. Give me the paste. There. Okay. So wget is fine. Okay, that looks bigger and better. Wrong library name, intrusive. I don't even know what command this was on. We cd'd to it, we unzipped, we ran bootstrap, I'm assuming. Okay, that looks fine. Multi-index. I don't even know where it's getting these flags from. Holy fuck. Is boost even being used? It just says boost required. Then for imports, wait, I don't even have to compile it. So we go to the temp boost, we cd to it, and then we just copy it. The problem with that is that Lua bind requires boost. All right, I'm hitting a point where I'm so much in like dependency hell, I'm just probably going to stop for now. I don't even know if this is worth it, but it's been fun going down the rabbit's hole, I guess. This is still extracting. It'll take a while, and we'll see where I'm at tomorrow. It's probably easier just to run the Linux copy of the game client. I'll have to see if that works later, but I need to go do some laundry and some other work, so, but I got some progress today. And yeah, hopefully everyone that's been watching learned a little bit. My from scratch isn't looking so bad. Well, here's the thing. There's a quick start that goes through all of this. I'm just, what's the word? Ornery? No, I'm set in my ways, and I really like it when everything just works with a dev container. So I'm going above and beyond, like a min-GW cross compile in C++ with all these dependencies. It's a pain in the ass. You can see all these dependencies. But I've made pretty dang good progress in my last couple days of working on this. This was about 2 hours, which could arguably be considered a burn. Like I didn't get any progress, but I can stash a lot of these changes and I'm back to square one. And I do have a client here. The Snowball client, I believe, compiles. It's right here. So arguably, I could VNC into G16. Is it Tiger VNC? I don't know which IP it's on, but anyways, I can run it. It just doesn't run on Windows with my build. There could be a copy of the executables actually in Ryzom's dist. Right here. This is ultimately what I'm doing. But then, of course, there's all these dependencies, which are in a different directory somewhere. I'd have to go find. There's not enough space on disk. God damn it. That 100 gigs was not enough for this little drive. I really hate this quick start. I'm going to have to remake it with more disk space. Isn't there a resize? I could, if it was Linux, I could just mount it, but yeah, that's kind of my mindset extreme. Isn't that stupid? Like, there's just, and have you seen the thing? Look at all these batch files, and all these batch files call other batch files. And yeah, it's just a nightmare. The perk with what I'm making is I'm trying to take everything server side and just turn it into Linux only. I know that's not the favored path, but frankly, Windows is a pain in the ass. The only thing I'm going to have Linux or Windows support on is the client, of course. And I was even looking right now at how can I cross-pile the Windows binaries in Linux. And it's a headache. I mean, I can get it done. I'm slowly lighting up every single dependency here, but I'll stash these changes and continue working on just Linux builds because I have tons of Linux boxes and stuff like that. And what I'll probably do is continue the path of trying to get this HunterGate crap to work. The problem is they're using Luabind and it doesn't work with modern build compiling. But then I hate how HunterGate installs itself into your C drive by default. And it also, these files aren't working right. So, but the whole point though, is when everything's set up, even on a Windows machine, like you can see right now, you should just be able to hop into this system and follow the directions, and it'll spin up a virtual machine and just run the server for you. And then hopefully I can make it so the conflict, no matter your OS, is minimum. You just boot it up, and then you can go focus on the part you care about, is my hope. Because the majority of people are not going to be needing to build the entire chain from scratch. Most of them just need the binaries, right, for each component. And so I will probably just try to simplify this as much as possible and not require this many batch files. Even the executables on this is like absolutely insane. I mean, do you see this? So for the client, here's all the DLLs actually. You can see here, which this is also fun. It has a requirement for Ryzom in roaming. It is found. It's right here. C drive user Zachary app data roaming Ryzom not found. I don't understand why I'm getting that error. This is technically what I'm trying to compile, because this is ultimately the client. Oh, do I have to run this as admin? I really hope not. No. Anyways, my end goal though is like I will make a Var Essentials client, and see the client has the same problem as the server where the log file is getting written to the root directory. And look at all these DLLs. And just look at this. I don't know. I feel like everything's messy. I gotta go in there and clean that all up. It's all open source, so I can touch things much as I want. Like, they actually did a decent job. You can see here they cleaned up their dependency hell. And when you start the client, their log file, I think, is set properly. Their configs. No, they do have a client log file. They need to put that in a subdirectory probably. Anyways, but this is what theirs looks like. Theirs being the official release. I don't know why they make a shortcut to Ryzom. And I think they use their own. They actually, in this case, they're using the patcher of Steam, which is smart. That's definitely a recommendation for mine. I want to segregate the patcher entirely away from the executables, because yeah, you could use the Steam patcher if the game gets released officially, or you could use Ekimu patcher. I'll revamp that to just work with this and distribute files like you're used to, right? You download the base game, and then in your deltas you just have a patcher, and you can just pop it up on GitHub, make it really easy for people to consume. That's kind of my vision of the client as a whole. Is ideally you just simply make a link to a GitHub repo, and that GitHub repo has the source code to your client, and then whenever you push a change, it just compiles it for you, has a packaged executable that you can run patches against and stuff. And that's across the board. That's how I want things. Is I just want it easy to update components of the server and the client, and organize things a little bit more cohesively. But all in due time. For now, I gotta stop. I streamed for a couple hours. That wasn't too bad. Not as much production today as I was yesterday, but it happens. We'll have to see how fast I can get a quick start going and go from there, I just don't trust that quick start. yeah, you're all good. I have no deadline. I have no milestones. I'm basically just having fun. I'm wrapping my head around the project. There are things about this that, you know, maybe down the line there'll be another MMO out there that I like more. I'm still open to that. This is still in discovery in my book. But I think Ryzom is close enough to, you know, like the existing EverQuest infrastructure and stuff, and they are very similarly licensed, that it would be easy, once we have all the scaffolding done, to start cherry picking and merging and tweaking each of the repositories and creating this new, you know, abomination of the best of both worlds. And start making a new MMO, basically. Because I think it's easier to edit than it is to go from scratch, personally. There's just so much scaffolding that needs to be coded. Yep. Well, and even if we don't get other people on board, this is just a pet project for the side. And I like that everything I'm doing, all my contributions, it's for the betterment of the community, right? Like, Ryzom obviously can take any of this effort, and if it helps them, awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to hop off. Thanks again for hanging